Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, buddy. Loud and clear like cheese on wheat toast.
Redo the intro.
Yeah, that actually might have something to do with it. That might have something to do with it. You see me? Yeah, that might have something to do with it. What's up, everybody? Hope you all are doing great this week. Obviously, as you can see, we moved back to remote. But still going to put on a great show for everybody out there. Today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we're also going to talk about the end of an era. And that is the announcement of the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, the final season, but it also marks the end of Marvel TV as we know it. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce who's going to be on the show with me today. My good friends, the great Adakuji GQ and Super Nerd Plus. What's up, fellas?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? Everybody out there doing great?
I'm doing excellent.
What's up, everybody? Super Nerd Plus here, and I just spilled something. I'll be right back.
Only him, man. Only him. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. I don't get it. Anyway, so today is episode 208 of Culture Junkies Live, and let's get it started with Run the Gamut, shall we?
Run the gamut.
I got big boy pants on.
All right, so who wants to go first on Run the Gamut? Who got something?
I do, because apparently the superstars of the WWE have joined the ranks of doctors, nurses, pharmacy techs and pharmacy workers and pharmacists and all that sort of thing, and grocery store workers and fast food workers as essential occupation. And they're out there filming live shows in Florida at their performance center. So I guess the mayor of, I think it was the mayor or the governor, one of the two, gave the okay. So that's a little bit suspicious and shady in my book, but whatevs.
Oh, it's completely shady because, oh gosh, this whole coronavirus thing, not only did the Trump election show you how stupid some people are in this country, the friggin' whole thing with the controller. The COVIDiots, the
COVIDiots. I like that. COVIDiots. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've seen a lot more of them now. It's getting ridiculous. I mean, people out here obviously don't think that this shit is real, and I came up with a plan to have a corpse cannon to shoot the, dead people who died of corona at the live people are fucking idiots. Just boom. Hey, you see that guy? He didn't die as cannon. He died of corona. Get the hell out of here.
You're shooting people? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not shooting people. Just dropping.
He said a corpse cannon. Corpses don't count, so that's actually acceptable.
Yeah, the corpse cannon, because it just doesn't make too much sense how people are thinking. Nobody living has lived through a pandemic. The last one that was major was in 1918, and it killed millions across the world. And they did not have the technology, the communication, the anything that would have stopped it from growing. We do now, but you got so many dumb people in power who think this shit is a joke. I don't know, man. I'm just tired of it. I'm really tired of it. This right here is supposed to be a Thanos snap, but it's just getting wrong people.
Is it? Well, no, I guess yeah. I guess I can see what you mean. Yeah. Super Nerd, what's going on in your neck of the woods? What you got to share with us? Or are you still cleaning?
I'm trying to get some light in here, but what am I mad about, son? What you tell them why you mad, son? I don't know. I'm not really mad about anything.
I mean, Run the Gamut is like you share anything, like anything cool that you see that came up in your Facebook feed, social media, or anything that you ran across. What you got?
I think it's hilarious that people are blocking entrances in hospitals up in Lansing and basically wasting gas. All that good gas they wasting, man. I know gas is cheap right now.
No, man, gas is super cheap, bro.
Gas is super cheap, but still, no, you ain't trying to waste your gas.
those are the COVIDiots that we're talking about. They mad because the governor stopping people from buying plants and seeds and paint. It's like, first of all, you motherfuckers weren't about to freaking paint nothing. You weren't about to grow your food. They mad because the government is telling them what to do. And the thing that bothers me is that a lot of these people apparently call themselves law-abiding citizens. Who sets the laws? The government. That means if you're abiding the laws, the government's telling you what to do. So sit your ass down and wait till this shit blows over. Quit trying to get mad over some dumbass shit. You know, just sit down, shit. Because some of us gotta go to work. Some of us gotta be in, like I said, in the front lines. I have to freaking still sell drugs to people.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I'm running out. I think I might need to make a Costco run because I'm running out of drugs, man. I might need to get some more.
Yeah. Get some gas too there. 89 cents at the one in the Madison Heights.
89 cents.
80, I got it. 89 cents a gallon last Friday.
Man, that's back prices before we was driving prices.
Real. That's like 1990 era.
Oh my goodness.
Gas prices. That's lovely. Can we make it stay that way?
No.
Awesome.
But here's the funny thing about that though. That shows you just how much how artificial that price is.
I know, right?
The gas price. Because it's like, think about it. And Dido and I have had this discussion many times before. It's like, okay, why is it that the gas price of the gas that you got delivered by the truck yesterday, it's the same gas that was pumped into that, that underground reservoir. So why is it all of a sudden jumped up like, $1 or whatever overnight versus now it's like, oh yeah, we can bring it down to 89 cents. Or $1.09 or something like that. So it's like, okay. James over there in the chat, like, someone say drugs?
Someone say drugs? Come on, brother. Come on, man.
I know what else I'm mad about, son.
What you mad about, bro?
What you got?
Why did some company steal my video for the Smart Swab?
There you go. Now you got something to talk about.
Hey,
get that off your chest. Get that off your chest,
okay,
son.
So if you remember, a couple years, it was a cheap little product at Target. They sold a thing called a Smart Swab. It's supposed to be replacing ear Q-tips or whatnot to clean your ears out. It was like this little, like a pig's tail type of thing, a little corkscrew type of thing.
Like, hey, wait, I'm gonna let you finish. Hold up a second. Do you still got one to maybe give people a little demonstration right here live?
I'm just gonna grab the video and throw the link in the chat.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm doing that now.
So,
go ahead, Dado. Yep.
So basically, I made a video and then my good friend GQ made it more fancy and put like 70 chicka pound music in it. And you can tell that it was editing because it was certain stuff that they zoomed in on my face, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I did a video 5 years ago. I get a message from my friends like, "Hey man, is this you in this video?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Playing it?" Hell yeah, that's me. And so I'm like, yeah. And the crazy part is the name of the company isn't the same name of the item that was being marketed in the first place. I'm like,
yeah, I think it's a knockoff.
It's a knockoff.
More than likely is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm mad about. You gotta give me some compensate, man. I'm a YouTuber. I make videos, culture junkies, all of that. We are legal,
bro. That is literally like one of our most watched videos on our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Like that one.
Give me my money. Cut the check.
Cut the check. That's right.
Cut the check.
Right.
Yep.
So, you ready to call Matt Murdock and sue these boys?
Listen, Matt Murdock, we need you. If Cochran was alive, he'd take care of the case. Pro bono. Pro bono.
Yeah.
Help the little guy out.
Without a doubt.
All right, so one of the things that I ran across is the past 3 weeks, obviously, it's like spring anime season, right? So, man, that show Tower of God is actually really good, dude. It's like one of my favorite spring anime shows. I think it might stick. If you haven't checked out Tower of God, you really should check it out. And it's weird, because like the main character's name in Korea, which is where it's from Korea. The main character's name is called Bam. It's 25th Bam. Weird, I know. 25th Bam, that's his name. Wow. But 25th Bam, but in Japanese they call him Yoru, which is and so it's like on the screen when you're reading the subs, his name is Bam, but in Japanese, you can hear him pronouncing it Yoru. So it's like, okay, this is weird. It's just one of them weird, like, lost in the translation things. It's like, pick one, man. Like, is it going to be Bam? Is it going to be Yoru? Which is it? But, either way, I would check out Tower of God for real. Make sure you look out for the review that's coming from culturejunkies.net either today or tomorrow, or tonight or tomorrow. More than likely tomorrow. What am I saying? It's not gonna be tonight.
Right, about to say you doing a show.
Yeah, all right. I'm doing a show.
It's been in my queue, but I haven't watched it yet because I kind of wanted to build up. I started watching Mob Psycho season 2.
That came out like 2 years ago, didn't it?
No, not the season 1. Season 2 was just last year. I didn't watch it.
Oh.
Because I was watching other stuff, but I want to get into Tower of God. It's just when I'm on my lunch and my anime stuff, it's kind of cool to like every day I'm watching like the same thing instead of bouncing around. So I kind of let things grow a little bit. And Tower of God, we only got 2 episodes out right now.
3.
Oh, it's 3. Yeah,
you need at least like what 10?
Yeah, for me to feel like. Because I don't watch it when I go home. It literally that's my lunchtime.
No, this
stuff.
is what he needs. He needs a One Piece size block of
I can just watch
shows to watch.
I can just watch One Piece. That's the thing is I usually give One Piece. I'll watch it for a bit, then I'll stop watching it for months, so it'll build up. So I can just watch it every day, have something to look forward to. Right now, Mob Psycho is my look forward to. When I'm at home, I'm actually watching the original Dragon Ball because I was looking at one of my old hard drives, my big backup right here. And apparently,
you actually found it? You actually found your backup?
Oh no, it's always been sitting on this desk. It's just that I don't have it plugged into my what you call it over here.
You don't have a dock?
I do have it. It's not plugged into the dock. Dock only puts 2 hard drives in it. I got 2 hard drives in it.
Yeah, because it was like between the 2 of us, we had a pretty hefty Plex little library here.
Yeah, I still lost. That's not this. I lost a lot of shit. That's not some of the stuff I lost. That is like anime and some TV shows and some movies that are still in the ISO form. Because when I was, ripping a whole bunch of DVDs, some of them are there. But they had the original Dragon Ball on there, and I think I'm gonna do a write up on the first season when I'm done watching the first season because here. And probably most of you guys in the country didn't watch a lot of Dragon Ball unless you made the effort to watch Dragon Ball, on your own. Because here in syndication, what we like to call Channel 20, only showed the 13 heavily edited episodes, 13 episodes over and over again. So being able to actually see a little bit more, I think it's kind of cool. Because like knowing what you know about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and seeing Goku when he first starts out, how Chi-Chi basically fell in love with him as soon as at first sight and basically said, yeah, you're going to marry me? He was like, I don't know what that is, but okay. And it ended up
got bamboozled.
He basically did. She is a hell of a lot different. You would think that she would have been somebody who would have been like him, that wanted to fight, wanted to train, wanted to learn, just based on how her first time you see her.
Yeah, and then she switched it
up
like that. She got married, went straight up housewife.
Yeah,
complete housewife, homemaker.
Like, isn't that what always like some women be doing, man? They present a good front, right, from the beginning. They're all sweet and they're all super nice and stuff like that. As soon as they got that ring, flip the switch, man. And
why do you think nobody has ever earned a ring from me? Like ever. Out of the chat, Mike Ziembo saying he should be worried about spoilers on a PS1 game, talking about Final Fantasy VII.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well,
right. DBO King is over there saying Dragon Ball is highly underrated, and he's correct in that. Yeah. I was never a huge fan of it, but it has its moments though.
No, the original Dragon Ball is gold, man. It's like somehow the original Dragon Ball still stands up today because it's like tonally it's different than Dragon Ball Z, but it's not as completely outrageous. It's as Dragon Ball Z was. It was more grounded. You felt like Goku could lose, whereas in Dragon Ball Z, you're like, okay, yeah, what good power up is he gonna get now to basically win?
Yamcha was giving it to him in Dragon Ball. Like,
hey, speaking of Yamcha, Hand of Omega said Goku still hasn't kissed her somehow. That's because Goku's never ever had relations with Chi-Chi. That was Yamcha's kid.
Yamcha's kid. Didn't they do that in like a fanfic or something like that? Saying that
I think they did, but if you notice, look at Gohan's demeanor. He is like until Piccolo whipped him into shape, Gohan was basically pretty much Yamcha's kid. Just the way he acted.
The only difference is he had a tail, so that would give it away.
I don't know, man. That might have been a little bit of leftover residual. Something. I don't know.
But I mean, if you think about it, Goku probably eventually did. He had to get coerced into it more than likely because he still didn't know what the hell is going on. Or going down patting people, see if they were.
Yo,
boys
that
or
was still the
girls.
funniest shit in that Dragon Ball. Remember that scene in the original Dragon? That was the funniest thing.
Yeah, when he took off
ever.
friggin' Bulma's panties and was just
Yeah,
like,
man, it was like,
where's your balls?
you ain't got no balls. Like, what the hell? Dude, that was funny.
Certain things you knew was going to definitely get cut.
Absolutely.
Over here. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's hilarious to think of just back in the early days of anime like that, how much stuff they censored, and it's just like now they still censor, but it's like it's not as bad, or it's almost at the point where they don't show anything on TV anyway. So
yeah,
you got all the streaming services, Crunchyroll and whatnot anyway. So
yeah, it's not like those good old days. The good old days.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Final Fantasy VII Remake coming right up.
The button stuck?
No, it says he's looking it through that monitor.
Oh, what the hell?
Exactly.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone. Where is it? Where is it? Topic 2. Wow. That's really
Technical difficulties.
that's really messed up.
Did we just lose the feed?
No.
No, it's still going.
You know, it's still going. It's me. I'm trying to get this thing to do right, and it's not doing right.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
I'm gonna
done COVID.
Yeah, it's all COVID's fault. Really, it's more of my fault. So while I figure that out, let's Jesus. This is.
Yeah, he did break it.
Yeah. This is.
All right. Well, give the camera over if you can.
I already did. I already did.
Who's got it? Because we can't see it.
It's on you. It's on you.
Of all the people to pick, you picked the best.
Wow.
Anyway, coming out of the chat, I'm going to hit some of the chat people up because I can't see anything but a black screen either. Eddie, good old Wolverine over there says the remake looks awesome, which he's absolutely right. Tony Young, game is a masterpiece. Next topic. Nope, we're talking about this topic once Kenshiro gets his stuff together.
I got it.
You don't want to talk about friggin' Final Fantasy VII?
I got it.
What?
I got it.
No. Tony Young, the light bill for the Nexus is paid.
Well paid.
Yeah, it's just everybody's, not everybody. I personally don't care. I would have showed up in the Nexus and still.
Well, we know you would have.
I wouldn't have a problem if it was not like, I don't know if they're gonna be going around checking our goddamn parking lot. Like, what is going on here?
Dude, full disclosure, I was out till like 4:00 last night.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at this.
Were you driving around? Were you?
Yeah, I was playing Tekken with Wolverine and the fellas, and then like left, and it was about 4:00 or something when I got back. So yeah, and guess what? Warren Police pulled up right next to me. I looked right at him like, "Hey, what's up?"
Like, what's up, fellas?
Right.
Hey, it's the boss from Africa.
Right. Exactly.
That's
Yo,
hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna put this one out there for all of y'all out there that's worried. If you ever get stopped about this, I am on my way to help my mom out because she needs something. What police officer is ever going to say something against that? Let's just be real. Who would ever say anything against that? Oh, dude. So if your mom called you, said I need some help with something, you ain't gonna go?
Yeah. Well, you got some of these idiot police officers. I just saw another video where this doctor was loading up his van. He was going around testing homeless people, and this guy put him in handcuffs, started yelling at him because he was thinking something else instead of asking questions. Just because the guy had a little bit more melanin than he did, so he's doing something wrong.
You know how that goes. You know how that goes.
All right.
Anyway,
on topic.
back to the topic at hand. All right. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got my hands on my copy Friday. Didn't break it open until Saturday. because I wasn't necessarily in a rush to play it right away. GQ was supposed to get his copy. He didn't, things happened. He didn't necessarily get his. But but for me, playing through it, full disclosure, I never played nor beat Final Fantasy VII.
Oh boy! That's why you think Final Fantasy VIII is the best one. Good.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like it's that Fifth Element syndrome again.
No. What it was is that I saw Will play it. He was playing it. He beat it, and I liked it. And I was like, you know what? I've already seen the end of this. I don't feel like I need to play it. I'll just start with Final Fantasy VIII.
In other words, you watched the YouTube playthrough before YouTube. Okay.
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. I watched Will play it. He beat it, and then I was like, oh, I really like it. So let me go on and try the next one. So Final Fantasy VIII was the first one, and I liked it. Right. Ever since I've been a Final Fantasy fan. Anyway, so playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, I know all about the story, but this game might be the best Final Fantasy anything that I've ever seen. Like, graphically, this thing is incredible. The system is the system that they have is so unlike Final Fantasy. It's like, think Kingdom Hearts. Well, no, don't think Kingdom Hearts. Think more Final Fantasy 15 as far as the fighting style. You can control multiple characters, but you still have, kind of the strategy of being able to whip out special attacks using your ATB gauge once you build it up, like for time. And then you kind of have Final Fantasy VII Remake. But throw in there that they expanded the story even more. They included elements, gave the side characters like Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs beefier roles.
Wait. Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs?
Yes.
They got 2/3 of the Star Wars names from Star Wars.
Oh,
You didn't know that Wedge and Biggs were in the original Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
Star Wars copycat.
but they gave them heftier roles, fleshed out the story a little bit more. Because if you're gonna do a game with episodic content like they're doing Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can't just make it a carbon copy of the original game, because that would kind of be boring. And that's where I think that this one feels almost less. Well, it really lives up to the name of being a remake, because it's not a carbon copy of the original. And so, you guys that have played the Resident Evil remakes, is it similar to the way what I'm describing? Is it similar to the way that those games are? To where they're not exactly the original games. They're kind of, there's enough new to make it original.
Yeah, in my opinion, yes. I think, and here's the thing, my thing on remakes, I don't like a carbon copy. If you're going to go through all the hassle to upgrade the graphics and basically rebuild the game, don't give me the exact carbon copy story, because, that's something I've already done. Give me a remix of it, basically. So, yeah, they kind of did that with Resident Evil 3 remake.
Wow.
A lot of people said they didn't like it because it was too short, but I'm like, well, so was the original.
Exactly. Right. And then they was hating that some people took out certain aspects of the game in 3. I'm like, some of the shit was stupid in 3. Like, who wanna go to the clock tower for what? Like, they did it perfect just going straight to the hospital if anybody played it.
Yep.
And doing with helping Jill out. I thought it was stupid for them to even, why would you put that in? That's a waste of time, and it was just stupid. Do it. And I beat Resident Evil 3, gotta know.
Hair is really short, and that's a lot of people's other complaint.
So 2 was short. Shit.
Yeah,
4 and 5
two was pretty long, actually, because 2 had 2 different scenarios to play through.
Well, that's true too, but at the same time, I ran through 2 pretty fucking fast.
Oh no, exactly. But here's the thing about both of them, actually, just not to stay off of Final Fantasy for too long. Of course, like 3 was short because it was originally a side story. That was the first part of it. This 3, if you would look back at it, if the internet and PSN and Xbox Live and all that would have been what they are now, Resident Evil 3 would have been a downloadable side quest. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have been a full retail release. So it's like, and for people to be complaining that it's short, it's like, dude, people run through the original Resident Evil in less than 2 hours. So it's like, let's not act like the game was expected to be a 15 or 20-hour romp. It's like it is what it is. It was a short game to begin with, and I'm sorry, I'm enjoying it. I don't have any problem with it. People are like, it costs too much. I'm like, well, that's how much games cost. So
exactly, facts.
All right, so another thing about the game that really struck me was just cinematically. We've always said that Final Fantasy games cinematically are the pinnacle of RPG games. They've done that even more so with this one because this is like this Final Fantasy with the voice acting that they have in it, the narratives that they've woven with the story are really good. And like I said, getting back to the kind of the fighting system with the characters and how different they feel. Barrett is still like the stereotypical black, gruff, black dude, except for when he gets around his daughter, Marlene. It's straight out of an anime. He turns it like into a big teddy bear, when he gets around his daughter, to be expected. But Tifa is the fucking truth, man. Like, as far as a character, when you're using to fight the boss battles, like if I could just play as Tifa all day, I would, because Tifa's got hands, and the multi-layered way that she can whip out, her chakra and basically switch up her moves. It's really something to see. I love the way that you can mix and match by switching between the characters and doing combos on certain when you're in the battles. The only drawback that I see to this game right now, and you would think in this day and age this wouldn't be an issue, but this game has a few camera issues sometimes, and what I mean by that is like you'll be moving the character towards a door or towards interacting with an object, and because of the way the camera shifts or the way they make the character stop, you might have to reposition the character in order to actually get them to interact with the item you wanted them to interact with. It's just it's weird. So that's my take on the game. But GQ, what was one of the reasons why you wanted to get this game? Because you're not necessarily a Final Fantasy guy.
I'm not an RPG guy at all.
Right, normally. But so what attracted you to this game, and what made you want to get it?
There are two things that can get me to play an RPG: the Star Wars license and action-oriented play instead of turn-based. Mm-hmm. So when they announced that they were going to remake this game and give it an action-oriented style, I was like, okay, I'm all in. Because one, it looks great. Yeah, right. It looks amazing. And then two, it's like I don't have to sit there and click, oh, I want to use this and then wait for it to happen. No, I can just run around and make it happen. That's to me is, if all RPGs were like that, I would play more of them. And I think that's always been my issue with Final Fantasy definitely, but in any RPG. The only turn-based one that I accepted was Knights of the Old Republic, because that one was just good. One was really good.
And it was Star Wars license, so
of course, yeah,
So it hit that one.
I'm not a big fan of turn-based RPGs either, but I have played them, but I'd rather have, the first action RPG was X-Men Legends.
Oh, dude, that game was fire.
Yep. Exactly. So playing action, like I never played Final Fantasy. I always seen like Waffles play it, and I know when Final Fantasy VII first came out, I knew it was crazy. It's one of the biggest RPGs ever to hit the market. So I hadn't even seen what it looked like. I don't even know what it looked like. I just know that he got his copy, but
wait a minute, Amazon. Are you serious? Like you haven't seen this game yet? Still,
I haven't seen it now because I never was interested in playing Final Fantasy like that.
Dude, look at this game. Look at this game, and you'll be like, "Wow, this is something."
The game is friggin' amazing. That's all.
It's like 15, basically, right? It looks like 15, right?
It looks better than 15. It looks way better.
Well, I mean, as far as like the gameplay.
No, it's a little bit different than 15.
It's slightly different.
Yeah.
Slightly
and like from the thumbnail, Tifa, that's in game. That's how she looks.
Yeah,
literally. That is how she looks.
But no, out of the chat, John P said remakes need a few twists and turns to keep old players and new ones on their toes, especially in the age of YouTube playthroughs. He's absolutely right there. 100% correct. Yep. Mike says need to play more RPGs. Then no, not really. It's not so much that I don't like RPGs as a genre. They just don't fit my style of play. I am a fighting game player first and foremost, so I want control over everything. I don't want to hit, I don't want to cast a spell and then have to wait for the computer to decide if it's going to actually hit for all of its damage. No, damn it. If I throw a Hadouken, either you block it or you get hit by it. Or if I throw a combo out there, either you block the combo or you get hit by it. I don't want the computer to have that decision of, oh, well, you missed. It's like, well, whatever, dude.
I had the exact same thought that you did and granted, this was over 20 years ago. I thought like that until Final Fantasy, because like I didn't really play RPGs either. I thought they were extremely boring. I sat down and watched Fran play. Started with Chrono Trigger, and I was like, well, Chrono Trigger actually does look kind of like fun. And then I played Chrono Trigger. I played through Super Mario RPG. This is like going back in the Super Nintendo days. And then Final Fantasy VII came out. So, I'm going to dive head first into Final Fantasy VII. And though I understand everything you're saying, it's not meant to be like that. I do get like, okay, you're waiting to take your turn, and then you got to hit, or miss. But I see where they're coming from now that I'm older, because like I've not really played tabletop RPGs, but it's similar to in that aspect where the computer is rolling the dice for you.
Oh no, like I said, I understand the mechanics behind it. I just still personally don't.
You don't like the whole luck thing.
Yeah, because to me, that was one thing that bugged me about Knights of the Old Republic, because it's like, dude, I just used Force Storm, which is basically lightning over the entire area, and you tell me it missed somebody? I don't think so. It's like, no, dude. So yeah, I that's the one thing about it that's always bugged me. It's just like, okay, well, no.
Yeah, I can understand that whole thing, but I just look past it a little bit and say, you know what, I'm gonna play it because for the story, it wasn't really too much of the fight. And I thought the fighting got really easy, specifically with all the materia stuff. If you start, knowing what the materia does and knowing how to level it up and using certain materia for certain people, fights were freaking easy. I mean, I got to a point where I had materia where it was an underwater fight for the emerald weapon, and I didn't get the right material to keep me underwater forever. And I was able to just keep looping this one. I don't remember exactly, but it was like each character would mimic the other character. So one person would do a summon, and it would do it 4 times because I had a 4 times repeater thing on it. The next character would mimic that and do it, and it kept doing all the way down. And it would have killed the weapon, but the stupid freaking summons take so much time because it's flashy and all that stuff, and it doesn't stop the timer. And I end up, drowning underwater.
All I can say is I'm looking forward to seeing what Knights of the Round looks like in this game.
Yes.
And I'm also waiting for the video that's going to pop over. Knights of the Round is cast and it misses.
Oh, I've yet to see that.
I don't think it can. I think it literally has too much stuff going on where it's constantly throwing hits out. But if Knights of the Round ever does a complete miss, that'll be a complete and utter vindication of my argument. Like, yeah, this is why I don't like RPGs.
That would be hilarious if it did something like that.
Yeah. All right,
even
gentlemen.
if it was a glitch.
All right, gentlemen, it's time to wrap it up. Obviously, we hope everybody gets a chance to play this absolutely immaculate game. I know GQ, when he gets it, he'll finally be able to share some of his thoughts, and we'll get to that later. But right now, we're going to move on to This Week in Gaming. Fingers crossed that we won't have any more technical difficulties this time. All right, here we go.
This week in gaming.
All right, everyone. This week in gaming, that was a lot of really good games that came out this past week over the course of history. So, real quick, right off the top of the head, what was your favorite game, Super Nerd?
That Midnight Club. We used to be over at Waffle's house playing that Midnight Club back in the day.
What?
Megatron was there too. We used to be actually all y'all was there.
You know what? I faintly remember that, and y'all driving these Cadillacs, street racing with Cadillacs. First of all, can we talk about that? Street racing with Cadillacs. Come on, bro.
Cadillacs got some dope ass engine. Probably got good suspension, depending on which.
Yeah, except for the Escalade. The Escalade was, that thing is ridiculously top heavy. You can't make no corners in that.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
No, man. That Midnight Club, that was classic, though.
Yeah, Midnight Club. Midnight Club is a franchise that I would love to see come back, like with a full. But the problem is, you have Forza and you got Gran Turismo. It's like the arcade racer is just like almost dead, and it sucks because it's like you remember
Ridge Racer?
No. Well, Ridge Racer was always kind of Ridge Racer started off kind of arcadey, then became simulation, like later in its life. But Burnout. Burnout was my man.
Burnout was
like one of the best.
I loved
Burnout. Here's the reason that you don't get Burnout anymore, because look at the way you have it now is all the games are photorealistic for the most part. They all basically look like the real thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of these companies, car companies, want to get their actual cars in there, or the game companies want to get the actual cars in there.
Right.
But the problem is, no car company wants to have their car crashed.
And honestly, I think that's realistically why, for the longest time, Forza didn't allow damage to the cars. Gran Turismo too.
Yeah, and
it's a game.
We understand that, but the thing is, dude, look at even the car manufacturers' limitations they put for Transformers. You noticed the Decepticons were like that one Decepticon. The what was his name? Was it
Barricade?
Barricade. Yeah, you notice how he looked kind of like a Ford Mustang, even though all the other cars were GM.
Yeah.
They designed his particular look to slightly mimic a Ford because he was the only evil car in the entire movie. But GM, of course, they was riding high with all the Autobots. All the good guys are, GM cars.
Pristine.
They are super protective about their image and everything.
So you mean to tell me Axel Foley didn't fuck up a few cars back in Beverly Hills Cop?
Again, don't forget all those movies back then. They was crashing old stuff.
Right.
They was crashing cars from like the 70s and whatnot. They was always, it was always just garbage cars. So they didn't really care at that point. But back to Midnight Club. Midnight Club Dub Edition had the coolest intro of any game. It started off with that. I think it was a Manny Fresh song. I believe it was. It was like the instrumental version of that.
Fresh.
Yeah, it was the Manny, the Manny Fresh song. And if you just let it sit there, the entire intro was timed to the music. I'm like, okay, this is how you do a video game intro, especially one that's so heavily tied into music and hip hop and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, what song was that? Super Nerd, wasn't that Hood Rich?
Yeah, Gator Boots,
yeah,
Gucci
suits. Yeah, it's Hood Rich. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that wasn't it.
It was House Real Big. Whichever one is House Real Big. Whichever one, I forgot the name of the song, but the hook was House Real Big, Cars Real Big,
Oh, I remember that. I don't know.
Okay.
But they used the instrumental of it because they brought it up. It's like the title of the game came up right as basically the hook would have started in the song. It was just matter of fact, YouTube it. If you don't have the game, YouTube it and look that up. I was like, yeah, that's how you were supposed to intro a game. Plus, they let you drive in Detroit in that game.
Yeah, you can't beat that. All right, so more games that came out this past week over the course of history. Obviously, Final Fantasy XIV online edition. I never got to play that, but I was always interested to see how a Final Fantasy game would do in an MMO setting. Somebody else will have to tell me how that is, because I don't have first-hand experience with that. Another game that came out was the movie version of Spider-Man. Now remember, that one's important to note because that one was the last Spider-Man game that they made that was not open world. Because Spider-Man 2, when that came out, I think it was like 2 years later on the PS1, PS2, was open world and just like changed everything for Spider-Man as in general.
Yeah. Many a henchman or purse snatcher found out that getting a spinning pile driver from the top of the Empire State Building hurt.
Yeah.
That was my go-to. I'm like, I can carry people
purses?
and I can go anywhere. It's on, man. As soon as I got the spinning pile driver move, it was like, you about to find out how much you're just gone. Just gone.
Can you get a new Spider-Man game?
Which one?
No,
Talking about the PS4 one?
Can you carry people? No, you can't carry people.
Oh no, that would be too deadly.
Well, shit, I done let Spider-Man jump off the top of a building, tall ass building, and let him just land like a cat on his feet.
Oh no, that's fine. Because you're not carrying somebody that that looks like a really high definition human now.
True.
Because man, I was torturing people in that Spider-Man game. We going for a ride, buddy.
All right, so another game that came out this past week over the course of history, NBA Hang Time. We were just talking about sport games that have disappeared from arcade style. Definitely sports games are in that list. NBA Hang Time, the successor of NBA Jam.
That's what I thought it was.
In the arcade. I feel like Maximum Hang Time obviously was the one that everybody really, really loved, but I still feel like NBA Hang Time was never as super popular as the original NBA Jam was.
I don't think it was.
Nah, yeah. NBA Jam was go ahead, Dido, but the NBA Jam was king.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was saying is that NBA Jam Tournament Edition, those two were the most popular ones, and it seemed like after that, I think it had something to do with the licensing. I watched something about it where some company actually took it, and NBA Hang Time Midway had to remake it because NBA Jam went to somebody else, and though they tried to keep it up going with that one, the whole NBA Jam, NBA, all it kind of fell apart.
Hey, shout out to anybody who still remember the passwords in NBA Jam. I remember Air
Bro, yes. Now, that was the one thing about NBA Jam that was actually really cool, how you could put in those codes. And Midway was notorious for doing this anyway.
Oh, yeah. That was the thing, man.
Yeah, that was their thing. So, but I think the other thing about NBA Hang Time and Maximum Hang Time was it was one of the first times you could enter your own code and have a career in the game. Whereas the more wins that you got, the more trinkets you could put into your character. Go ahead.
I guess. But see, the thing is, for me, when games have an arcade feel to them, it's just pick up and play, have your fun, do your thing. That's fine. When you start adding simulation elements to it, then it's just like, I'm done. Like Tony Young, you're 100% right. The Bill Clinton code, the fact that they had Bill Clinton, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Big Head mode, all that stuff. NBA Jam was the Wild West.
That was fun.
They threw all sorts of stuff in there that they weren't supposed to put in there, and that's what made NBA Jam cool. Once it became like you said, once they moved on to Hang Time, it's like, well, now the spotlights are on, so now y'all got to play right and legal, straight and narrow, and all that.
And plus, they had the coolest sayings in that game.
Boom shakalaka.
Hell yeah.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
Yes.
Right.
Coming up half court, dunking the shit out of somebody.
Matter of fact, and that was the thing that I liked about NBA Street, the first one.
Yes.
Only the first one.
Wait,
I didn't like any of the other ones that followed.
You didn't even like NBA Street 2? NBA Street 2 was much better than NBA Street 1.
The first one was perfect for me. The first one was exactly what I wanted out of a street ball game. And matter of fact, Def Jam Vendetta and all that. Def Jam Vendetta and Fight for New York were the best, period. The other one, Icon, was trash. I can literally say that was a trash game.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I usually don't say that. That game was trash.
That one was on in This Week in Gaming like a month ago, and we talked about it then too. So
but moving forward out of this and segueing into more fighting games, Mortal Kombat 10 and Injustice.
Oh yeah.
Injustice jobs among us.
Now I will say this, right? Mortal Kombat 10, the follow-up to and we were just talking about Mortal Kombat 9 in the pre-show before we came on, but Mortal Kombat 9 was absolutely perfect. It was a groundbreaking, it was like you're talking about a game that completely revitalized the Mortal Kombat franchise. 9 was it. 10, I felt like was a little bit of a letdown. Anybody else feel that way?
10 had a lot to live up to.
It
The
did.
letdown was because of the story mode, man. When you jumped into 9 for the first time in a long time, like I don't remember if it was a story mode that was in the original Soul Calibur or whatever adventure mode it was. I thought was spectacular, and in Soul Calibur 2, I think it fell off the ball. And the same thing with Mortal Kombat 9, like just the story mode was long. It gave you a reason to play, and they did an extremely great job with it. And then when I jumped into Mortal Kombat 10, it was like a 20-minute long story mode. I was like, how are you going to go from like expansive to 20 freaking minutes? And like, I'm a little bit afraid to play Mortal Kombat 11. I just picked that up for like, I don't remember, it was $12 or $14 or something like that.
Hey, 11 story is a trip, dude. 11
give it a go.
story is a trip.
I don't think I ever paid attention to Mortal Kombat storyline. I was just going to kick ass and take names.
No,
I get you.
9.
But 9 was that deal. 9 was literally that deal.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I just know that motherfuckers went to Outworld, and that was it.
No, DBL King is 100% right. MK9 was franchise Viagra. It absolutely, positively was. And yeah. Oh, hold on. Mike put it out there. Who's everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat character? Mine is Scorpion. Always will be. Sorry.
And that's why I replied to him in the chat. I was like, any answer other than Scorpion is invalid. Because like literally,
I mean, people can like who they like. It's just,
but it's wrong.
Scorpion was my first, not for my first character, because of course, when you first played Mortal Kombat 1, it was like, oh wait, Bruce Lee's in the game. All right, let's go. So that was who I started off with.
With
and
Liu
then
Kang.
I moved. Then I transitioned to Sub-Zero for a little bit. Then I transitioned. Well, no, Mortal Kombat 1, the first one.
But I'm talking in general.
Oh yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, you like cheap behind Noob Saibot. That's fine. that shadow grab turns your block off and then does an unblockable grab. I'm like,
that was ridiculous.
So like for me, like you were talking about Mortal Kombat 1, that was the only game that I ever played Raiden in. I didn't like playing Raiden in any other game except for Mortal Kombat 1.
Johnny Monaco.
Yeah. Whatever. But Scorpion, I played in every single Mortal Kombat game. Cause dude, the name is badass. The chain is badass. His fatalities are badass. Dude, it's just Scorpion's that dude. But let's talk about, Injustice real quick before we move on to the very next topic, because Injustice, I feel like might be, it's hard to say, but you almost want to say it's the best fighting game attributed to a comic book property that may have ever been done.
No, Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay, but you got to admit, Injustice was extremely.
Oh no,
Injustice
is really well done. They took a lot of what worked out of Mortal Kombat versus DC universe and refined it, and they did a great job with it. But at the end of the day, that's just Mortal Kombat with DC skins on.
Basically.
Oh, that's absolutely
that's the one drawback to it. It's like, I've played this game already. And
combos are still the same too.
Yeah. So to me, and it's like, and again, I don't mind what they're doing. I have both of them. I got Injustice 1 for $10 because it was GameStop.
That gold edition.
That
gold edition.
GameStop lost their mind one day.
Best Buy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
it was me and Super Nerd, and I think even Megashawn actually. And Big Pip and Jay, we all went up to Best Buy.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that. We all ran that deal. We all got it for that price.
It was like $10. Oh, all right, fine. I guess y'all messed up something.
Let's go. That's when
it came out.
That was one of Waffles' infamous flip. Like, he went on a flip fiesta with that one. Like, I remember
who wouldn't? I mean, if you pick up a brand new game for $10, man.
I swear to God, he must have went to every single Best Buy in the Metro Detroit area. Like, he must have went to them all. Like, for real. But and DBL King, brought up something that I think a lot of people said. Injustice's story did such a good job that they pretty much wanted that to be what the DCEU ended up being. Like, everybody was hoping that Batman v Superman would end up being like Injustice, and that's what they were looking for. Literally, that's what they were looking for.
Now, here's what I would like to see, and this is something that I'm mad that they still haven't done. why don't we have an Injustice animation movie?
Man,
because you could easily do that as a trilogy. Because that Injustice is as a story is so good. That is one that I literally tracked down every graphic novel and just bought them as they came out because I enjoyed following that story. Superman finally was interesting to me in that story. So it's like, if you did that as a trilogy of DC animated movies, that would be sweet. But again, we got Superman Red Sun, which was okay, whatever.
But it wasn't Injustice.
Yeah, I need Injustice. They need to stop playing around. Flashpoint was one of their good ones, but after Flashpoint, they've been up and down with their quality because Suicide Squad Hell to Pay was not as good as the first one.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
So they need to get back on their game when like it was like they were king of animation.
I say this as a Superman fan, I would love to see an Injustice movie. I really, really would. It would be
and again, I don't want them to wrap it up in one movie. I literally say should be 3. That should be the full build. It should literally be you started off like it's a regular. Matter of fact, the way I would start it, I would just start it off as a regular Justice League movie. And then you have that whole storyline play out where Joker tricks Superman, and that's how the movie ends. And we go in like next movie, Injustice. Let's go. I would do that. That would be sweet.
Yeah, I see a 3-part movie, but like they ruined it. Like the same thing with Hush, Batman Hush.
Well,
it should be 2-part.
It should have been. It definitely should have been. And again, I know it's an investment of time, but if you do that right, people that don't even like buying Blu-rays will probably buy that. So that one to me should be done. Like I think they should do Injustice, but I don't know. We going to run it over.
Yeah, we are. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. It actually is somewhat related to what we were just talking about. So let's get to it.
Mixed reaction.
Yay, it worked this time. So, all right. So this one is going to be for you, GQ. Lead it off.
All right. Well, apparently, since we was talking about animation, Warner Brothers decided that they wanted to do a Mortal Kombat Legends line of films. I don't know if it's going to be a line of films. I don't know, for whatever reason they called it Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge.
Long ass
they
time.
did a good job with it. I enjoyed it. It has moments where it's like, it seems like, okay, I guess y'all kind of forgot that you named it Scorpion's Revenge. So it's like
the truth.
It's like you kind of watching the movie and they start off with Scorpion because it's that's my dude, and it's just like I guess y'all gonna start doing the Mortal Kombat 1 story, so I guess Scorpion is not as important as he was at the beginning of the movie. So because he couldn't even get top billing in his own movie for the voice actor, but I mean it's that was weird. But overall, animation wise, it looks great. The violence level is off the charts, which is right up my alley right there. But the actual film itself is just like, you could have done a little bit more with it. But overall, it was pretty decent. I'm turning it over to Daito and Kenshiro since they both watched it as well.
Well, I just got finished watching it right before the show here. I was having a little trouble with my internet and I wanted to be a little piece of shit, and it was like, oh, I want to play. No, I don't want to play. Oh, I want to play. I don't want to play. Anyway, it's Mortal Kombat, the story of part 1 again, which if you're old enough to have lived through the movie in the 90s and played the game back in the 90s, it's the same thing. Not a big issue, but for the first time, it's super violent. I'm talking about, like, when he says the violence is there, I think it's more violent than the video games. And that's hard to say.
It's because it's animated really well.
Yeah.
And it's very, I don't want to say realistic, because some of the cuts and slices and stuff are very, it's like, but go ahead though. But
I quite enjoyed watching it. I hope they do another one. It's again, Warner Brothers Animation is doing a fine job. And if this live action movie comes out and does like the Warner Brothers or DC, as we like to call them, of the live action, I just hope that doesn't happen, because we do like Mortal Kombat here and want to see more of it. I personally want them to go through all of it, because even though Super Nerd says he doesn't play Mortal Kombat for the story, he has out of any fighting game, seriously, he has the best story. that makes sense. It's not like Street Fighter. Oh, it's just Street Fighter, and then we're gonna throw in Bison, and then Bison wants to go.
Shit, I don't know the story of Street Fighter, to be honest with you.
Street Fighter doesn't really have a coherent
It doesn't really have a coherent story.
They tried to throw stuff in because of Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Almost every fighting game, I won't say all of them.
No, because Virtua Fighter's story is pretty much non-existent. It doesn't exist.
It had anime though.
It did.
Stop it! Stop it! We don't talk about that. Stop it!
But like King of Fighters, excuse me, Fatal Fury, Fatal Fury
Fighters now.
Yeah, had a story to start off, and then the King of Fighter games did have a story, but it was very convoluted. I don't know much of it, but Mortal Kombat is one that literally has stuck from the beginning to the end, and they rebooted it in Mortal Kombat 9 with time travel and made it like that's how you do freaking stories and how you do reboots. If you're gonna do something like that, they did it. They did a great job. So
listen, there's only one Mortal Kombat I respect, and that's Defenders of the Realm.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Are you talking about that shit that came on USA back in the day?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Wow.
You are a Saturday morning Cartoon Express kid all day long.
All day long.
Dude. Oh, Mike out of the Facebook chat said it's hard to make a good live action movie from a video game. I disagree. The first Mortal Kombat is good.
They're pretty decent.
It has its moments that are just kind of like whatever, and then of course it was PG-13 because again they wanted to make some money because back then R-rated movies weren't expected to make anything. Mm-hmm. But the first Mortal Kombat was good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I did too.
But I agree. Beyond that, yes, it is difficult, or it has proven difficult if you have directors that don't know what they want to do. Because Assassin's Creed had a blueprint for a movie if you played the games, and they just completely messed that up.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, to me, has a blueprint for a movie, and nobody's touched it yet.
Yeah,
are we gonna bother talking about those UA Bowl movies? Even though he always picked ones that did not have good stories in the first place.
Which ones?
House of the Dead. House of the Dead never should have been mad.
House of the Dead is a rail shooter. How in the hell you expect me to watch
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, whatever, dude.
It's hilarious.
It is.
It's hilarious to watch now, but when I watched it, I'm gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna put it out there. I downloaded it, and this was back like almost 4 years ago. I wanted my money back.
Well, you wanted your bandwidth and your hard drive space.
Yeah,
back.
Right.
What is this?
That movie was like, how you gonna have a scene with people killing each other, and then like 2 minutes later have a flashback
of just the same
thing that you just saw.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Doom. All right. Tony Young said the Doom movie would have been great if it wasn't called Doom.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, the Doom movie, if they would have just let it just be demons instead of some weird, hybrid-y, we opened a portal. No, just say you opened a portal to hell.
Yeah.
And demons
don't
came
try and
through.
Get cute. Yeah, don't try and get cute. Just say
and Rock and the Space Marines was getting at there fighting. They would have been fine, but they tried to get all artsy with it. I'm like, okay, dude. DBO Kink, you're absolutely right. Halo should also be a movie.
Well, didn't they already make some like little?
Well, they have animated movies.
I could have sworn them. No, okay.
Well, they came out with a new Doom movie recently, and
they did.
It's on Netflix. I watched it, and the plot is exactly what Doom is. Exactly what you said. They freaking demons were coming out of hell because of the experiment, but it was not good. It looked like something that was on. It was like a high school project. It was pretty bad. And the Doom guy was not a Doom guy; it was a Doom girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it had its violence in it. It had the demons in it. It basically had the plot of Doom. It just was not good.
Yeah, I mean, and then again, Scorpion was good. And going back to the Mortal Kombat thing, Scorpion as the character was freaking awesome. He reminded me of Kratos in some ways of his determination of like, look, damn it, I don't give a damn what's going down. I'm going to wreck shop. And he was beating the hell out of everybody that he came across. So I was like, okay, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then,
can we talk about Joel McHale as Johnny Cage, man? Because
Johnny Cage was always it was him.
Yo, go ahead.
Yeah, Joel McHale as Johnny Cage was the truth, man. He brought it. It was really good. He delivered his lines pretty funny. You know, I wouldn't have expected. I kind of almost felt like he kind of would have mailed it in, but you could tell like he was totally dedicated to the role.
He got top billing. So I mean,
if he got top billing, doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna really be that great with it.
Top billing usually means a bigger paycheck, buddy.
Yeah, but he can still mail it in. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. He did his thing as Johnny. That was
no, he did.
Awesome.
No, he did. He did.
Then,
he really did.
Was it Jennifer Hale as Sonya?
No, her name was.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was under. She's not. Why is she not on the top? Sonya. What? Why? Oh, there she is. Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah, Jennifer Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't either. But she got top billing over Scorpion.
Oh, I know who that is. That was Dexter's brother. When I say Dexter, I'm not talking about the Dex as we know him. I'm talking about the serial killer, which the Dex as we know him could still be a serial killer. No, I'm just joking.
Wow.
Just joking.
Wow, bro.
Don't kill me, Dex.
Wow, bro.
It was his sister on the TV show Dexter.
I got you. But either way, she got top billing over the guy that did Scorpion, which is weird to me. But it is.
Yeah, who's Scorpion's voice? Where is he?
Dude, I didn't realize Scorpion.
Who the heck is that?
Again, it's probably some new guy, but he did a good job as Scorpion, though. I did enjoy it.
He's a voice actor in Injustice.
Oh, well.
As Scorpion. He's Scorpion's voice in Injustice. Wow. And he's Scorpion's voice in Mortal Kombat versus DC.
So Steve Bloom was also Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
But Sub-Zero said, like, what, 10 lines, maybe?
I know, right?
Wait. Which Sub-Zero? Was this his brother?
No. It was Bihan, the original.
Yeah, Bihan.
Okay. Which I thought that was
in the new Saibot.
Yeah, he becomes Noob eventually. Not in the animation.
The original Sub-Zero, when he gets killed, he goes in another round. They kind of offer him a deal similar to Scorpion. He comes back as new Saibot.
No shit.
Yeah. Wow, look, a lot of anime.
I thought the movie was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was like the greatest thing ever, but you know, the whole thing about, you know, it being billed as Scorpion's movie and then he not even really factor that much into the story kind of really
got the
threw
first
me
third
off.
of the movie.
Right. That was it. Like after that,
really shouldn't have called it that.
I mean, again, that trailer hooked you in. You like, I'm all in. Let's go. And then you find out all that stuff was from the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Hey, so
not trying to derail real quick. Just going back to Scorpion's voice actor, he is Jiren in the English dub of Super Dragon Ball. Right?
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, you already got tongue tied, my brother. What's going on?
Right. So
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. Leave me alone.
So we're saying that
been up since 5 in the morning.
We're saying that a movie done by Warner Brothers Animation gave away everything in the trailer. Is that
no. I'm saying in the sense of you know, the movie being about Scorpion and making you think it was going to be about Scorpion. That trailer they ran literally, you know, looked as if it was like, oh, this is about to be Scorpion's like, you know, showcase. Let's go. And then, wow, it's like, okay, guess not.
You know, the other character that kind of got the shaft in this film, and I know a lot of people really wouldn't care, Liu Kang. Like, Liu Kang was so forgettable in this entire film.
It's because Liu Kang, if you really, really get down to the nitty gritty, is a boring character.
According to all the Boy Scout characters are supposedly, but he wasn't boring in the live action movie.
No, because Robin Shaw was interesting. Like out of everybody in that movie, it was like, okay, well, let's back a little bit. Every one of the ninjas in the first live action Mortal Kombat movie could fight their asses off. They were all legit. Robin Shaw was the only other person there that seemed to know martial arts to a competent level to make it look good. Because Lyndon Ashby, and I think the worst part is Lyndon Ashby, I think actually used to compete.
Oh, really?
But it's just like, so it's like, it was just weird. And then, of course, we all know Bridget Wilson doesn't know anything.
Nope.
She was not a fighter.
She looked good, but no.
Well, yeah, I guess.
She only got a cast because the original Sonya got hurt.
Yep.
Who was supposed to be original Sonya? Who was supposed to be original Sonya? We need to find that out.
Rock.
Wow.
Rothrock.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure she was based off of Cynthia Rothrock in
of course.
original
absolutely.
Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely.
Just like Johnny Cage was based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme. And speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Johnny Cage did get that. It was more than a triple kick. They did it like
quad kick.
But it literally was that.
Oh yeah, he stole Van Damme's.
I have to admit that part was really funny. That part was really, when I saw him do it, that one made me laugh. That was pretty funny. So real quick, if you were to give it, anything out of 5, what would you give the MK movie?
Out of 5, I'd give it maybe a 3.5 because it started strong. Then it became like real cliche. Like, oh wait, we got to finish the movie, so let's throw some scenes together. That's what it felt like. It started off real strong, and it's just like, okay, I'm in. By the end, I was just like, okay, well, I guess Scorpion is kind of done doing what he wanted to do, so I guess we'll move on to the other stuff.
Dada, what would you give the movie?
I would say it's about the same. It was very entertaining. The title was misleading because Scorpion is a badass, and though they did start off with Scorpion and they finished off with Scorpion, it was still the retelling of the Mortal Kombat 1 story, which is still entertaining to me. Mortal Kombat is entertaining, so it's about a 3.5. And before I move along, Brigitte Wilson was the original Sonya in Mortal Kombat movie, but who was originally cast. The filmmaker's original choice was Cameron Diaz, and she got injured doing martial arts training and dropped out.
That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. Like, I don't know, man.
Here's the thing, though. It's very, 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 very hard to think of her as a tough military chick, because in Charlie's Angels, when she was trying to be tough, it just didn't come off as tough. It came off as just like, no, dude, absolutely not. So even and now you go in a few years back, nope. Seeing her out, her in the mask is the best she's ever looked. Period. End of story. But I can't see her as Sonya. It's so weird. Even though Brigitte Wilson wasn't that much tougher, it's very hard to see Cameron Diaz as a tough military girl.
Oh, you know what? I was almost tripping because I honestly thought, I was like, wait a minute, when did Mortal Kombat come out? It's 95. The Mask came out in 1994, and that was obviously Cameron Diaz's breakout role, and I almost thought that maybe it was kismet that she got injured because she did The Mask instead, because she was much better in The Mask than I think she ever would have been in Mortal Kombat. But that's just me. I can't, like you said, GQ, I can't see her as a,
nope.
I can't see it. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. This is your time to shine. You know what time it is. The power is yours. All right, everybody. So the power is yours. You guys take it away. Lead the chat. We can talk about anything that you guys want to talk about that we've talked about already, or any topics that just randomly come to mind. And of course, this crosstalk between the channels. DBL King gives Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge 2.5. Man, that's
damn. He's just like nope. Hold on. DBL, is that out of 5 or is that out of 4?
Right.
Okay, hold on. Dido said Carl Urban is an awesome geek actor. Don't know if he is a geek, but he's done Dread, Bones. He also did
The Boys.
What is that dude's? No, I know The Boys, but he also did that dude from Ragnarok.
Oh yeah,
he was he was Executioner. He was Executioner.
And Carl Urban would probably be a good Solid Snake.
Maybe.
He's got a weird look at the
maybe.
Dude, just think Dread, bro.
No. I understand that. But the thing is, it would be his face. That's what's so weird about Solid Snake's face is almost etched in your head.
Put a little stubble on him. Give him that freaking mullet. Put a goddamn headband on him. Just try to imagine it. Then you can probably see him.
So
yeah, but if you do that, he also has to be Big Boss.
John P brought up something. So
okay.
He says, "What is the deal with Atari? Thought they were Thought they were about to release a new console, and poof, nothing. So I looked it up. The Atari VCS is the 2020 console that's supposed to be coming out this year. And it's got pre-orders on Indiegogo, I guess. It's supposed to run on a Radeon Ryzen R1000 Vega 3 architecture with 14 nm AMD Raven Ridge 2, built on Ubuntu. So I don't know, Dido, you're more clicked in. So
hey, look,
what have
I'm
you
gonna
heard
tell you
about
something. Don't even be bothered with that. If you want a retro video game system, it doesn't do Atari 2600 right now, but it might do it. They just released the beta to certain YouTubers. It's called the Polymega. This Polymega is the real deal. People thought it was a piece of shit. They thought it was going to be freaking a retro pie in a box. It's not. It is custom friggin' emulator. Yes, it is emulator because in order to do something like this, you either go FPGA route or you do emulator, and it's a little bit cheaper to do a little cheaper to do emulator than FPGA, but it's going to do Sega Saturn. It's going to do PlayStation 1. It's going to do Neo Geo CD. And if you know anything about the Neo Geo CD, it has extremely horrendous load time, and it makes it like the Neo Geo cartridge. When you pop that bad boy in, there is no loading. You do not see the loading screen. I have watched with this thing in her hand, and I've seen them load the game up, and it's like that. It's also Sega CD system. Then with the modules that you can buy separately, it's going to do. Oh, I forgot TurboGrafx CD and Super whatever the Super CD was for the PC Engine and whatnot. It's going to do that as well. And you're going to have the modules to do TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine, Sega Genesis, and 32X module, Super Nintendo module, and it's also room for them to do a 2600 if you want to, 5200 or whatever that other one that came out to. They have the potential. They're talking about might be able to upgrade the emulation pack where it's going to do Dreamcast. Now, if it does that, I already bought mine. It came out. I'm just waiting for July. It was supposed to come out last year. They had a problem with the Intel because a bigger manufacturer came through and started wanting processors, and they got pushed back. And then this COVID shit hit, and it's supposed to be coming out in June, I believe now. But the system is real. People have the system in their hands. There's a dude that's been doing live streaming for the last 7 days of it. And there's another YouTuber called the Modern Vintage Gamer who actually took a look at it and is going to be doing more videos on it. And that's the system. If you're going to buy a retro style thing, that's what I would be looking at. The VCS right now, I'm looking at the website right now. Gosh, I mean, it's a 2600. What'd you call it? The people did the Retron 5. They did something called the Retron VC Hyperkin. They did the Retron 76, I think it's called, or Retron 77. It's a Atari 2600 that you can hit HDMI up. They got the controller. You use the old school controller. That's all you need. I mean, if this thing is supposed to be doing new games or old games, I wouldn't even be bothered with that, John P. I'm sorry if that's long, but look up the Polymega. Look up on YouTube. That system right there that's getting my money. I already got my money. They already took it. I'm just waiting for the goddamn thing to get here.
All right, couple things I saw. Wolverine was asking, will Black Widow or Wonder Woman be released to digital, and if they were, how did you do? A lot of people already replied to him, but I wanted to let you guys also throw it in.
No, big companies need their box office, especially now when theaters have been closed for so long. Theater revenue always, I hate to use the word, trumps streaming revenue. It just does. It might seem like streaming revenue is a way to reach a whole bunch of people, cut out the middleman, this and that. In reality, movie theaters give up the majority of their box office revenue to the production companies for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, first.
Now, usually weeks. It depends on how big it is. Disney can pull the first 3 weekends if they want. Warner Brothers probably could too.
I was listening to the Breakfast Club today, and they just mentioned something. It may not have been today's show, but it might have been because the Trolls World Tour apparently just came out, and
I think it dropped today.
It's supposed to be in theaters. I think it was over the weekend. They said out of streaming, because it's $20, you got 48 hours to watch it. It's done better than anything that has been dropped because this is first off new. and they predict that outside of the really huge big blockbusters, like the stuff that comes from Marvel, like the stuff that comes supposedly from Warner Brothers of DC, like Batman and whatnot, things of that nature are probably going to skip the theater. It's starting something new. Certain movies are probably not going to get theater runs. Certain movies are probably going to get theater runs. And you're right, DBL King. You got a lot of stuff with piracy, but you're never going to stop that. They try. It's not. They're going to stop it.
I think the issue is though that's Trolls is a kids movie. You have a lot of kids that are at home right now, and the parents are searching for entertainment. You show me a movie that isn't a kids movie that does numbers like that, then I might be impressed.
That's probably not going to see something like that, and that's. But like you say, the bottom line is money. These executives,
without a doubt. But at the same time, the Trolls movie again. It's animated. It's probably CG animated.
Yeah.
So it's probably it's going to cost them money on the front end to make that movie, and then of course your voice talent. But at the end of the day, that movie probably did not cost $100+ million to make. It may be, voice talent and whatnot probably pushed it up to like the 80s range or something, but it's not a 200 million, damn near $300 million movie like Endgame was. You would never, regardless of what's going on in the world, Endgame would never premiere streaming before it hits the theater.
No, I agree. That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. The big stuff like that, those are probably still going to come out in the theater. But that's if AMC survives this stuff.
Now, you bring up a good point because, Hand of Omega's in the chat talking about it. Real quick before we move on to the main event. So the rumor is that AMC theaters may end up closing for good because this coronavirus has drastically affected their business, and the coronavirus hit at a wrong time after they've already done, more than a few acquisitions that has left them, not financially solvent. So what do you think, GQ? Do you think AMC might possibly really go away?
If they do, so be it. You have to. The business world is evolve or die, and AMC for the longest. Now, granted, AMC and Lowe's theaters and all that did the Star theaters in our area out here and in other places, the Lowe's theaters. That was the advent of the stadium style seating, huge, enormous, big auditoriums. So you don't have to worry about anybody ever sitting in front of you. You were always like, in that stair step style of seating. And that was great for its time. People like luxury theaters now, big recliners, in the massive screens on top of that still. So it's one of those scenarios where it's like AMC tried to, like we had the Star John Hour was the first one that put the luxury seats in. But they were still small screens by comparison to other theaters because again they spent so much time building up these giant stadium seating. They didn't focus on their screens, their sound, and all that other stuff. So when the Imagine came in and did their flip of okay, we're getting rid of the stadium seating, we're going more to the luxury style seating, it killed it, man. So if AMC took too long to make that flip, and then now with nobody showing movies at all, they're screwed because they don't have any revenue to get in there and renovate and change things over. Adobo Girl brought up a good thing, though. Everybody in the chat, give a roll call. Where y'all coming from? Where y'all at? Where's our people at? We want to know where the Junkie Nation is coming from.
It's coming in from. Absolutely.
Yep. But yeah, it's AMC might go under and whatever. Imagine still around.
I know, right? So one thing I did want to actually bring up before we moved on is that something that DBL King brought up and thought it was pretty interesting, but the announcement that Ghost of Tsushima will not have any HUD on at all and no markers for you to find, no waypoints at all. You literally have to pay attention to the terrain and everything and figure out your own way. That's a throwback. I love that. That's great.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So if AMC talking about losing money, how come Imagine is okay?
AMC and Imagine are two different companies.
Well, I'm just saying though. So what's the problem? Is
smaller footprint, smaller footprint, and they manage their money probably a lot better. Imagine doesn't do a whole bunch of acquisitions. AMC is I think the biggest theater chain in the world, and they've been swallowing up a few other theaters on top of having to maintain the costs of all of the numerous theaters that they operate around the country. Do they operate outside of America? or do we not know that?
That I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway,
get the weight up.
Well, they got
imagine.
well. First of all, they got to stop spending so much damn money, and I think that movie club of theirs wasn't doing as well as they probably would hope it would. But
here's the thing, real quick on that. I get the idea of it. It's like, okay, you pay for a subscription basically to go to the movies. They have to understand that it's like, if people aren't buying concessions, they're not going to make money. So if you offer something for the thrifty person that already doesn't like movie prices, and then you give them essentially free movies, they already aren't paying concessions more often than not because they already don't like the fact that the movie prices was high. So it's like it's a really bad situation to put themselves in. Like, oh, okay, you pay this monthly fee and come in and watch as many movies as you want. Really? Okay, so now you really lost money two different ways because the people that take advantage of that probably weren't buying concessions, and that's where movie theaters make their money. So it's kind of weird.
You know, it is what it is when it comes to that stuff. Concessions, I don't go to the movies and buy concessions. I'm sorry. Very rarely do I go because I just don't want to pay that money for popcorn.
Well, no, only time I get concessions if Stephanie gets it. Other than that, if it's a Marvel movie, I'm not eating nothing. I want to watch the movie. I don't care.
Yeah,
but if it's a movie I don't really care about,
I'm trying to watch the movie.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if there's certain movies that like, if it's, I don't care about, but I'll check it out anyway. I'll get some popcorn because she wants to get popcorn. And that's if it's something like when we doing our outings or whatever, I'm not here to eat. I'm trying to focus on the story and see what's going on.
Oh, that's kind of how I feel about almost every movie.
Yeah, but I know, but still, I just feel like
I get you.
Well, for example, like Endgame and Infinity War, I wasn't trying to drink nothing.
No, exactly.
I made that mistake when I went to go see that Fast and the Furious movie when I had that drink. And then,
it missed Jason Statham.
Yeah, as soon as the credits, I was like, ew! And everybody's like, "Oh shit, man! Did you see who killed Han?" I was like, "Wait, what?"
Because that was the last thing you expected was an after credit scene in a Fast and the Furious movie. It's like, what? That was messed up.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that was the Power Is Yours. It was a good one. If you notice the gauge that's over there on the right, that's our April new Junkies follower goal. If anybody signs up and follows us on YouTube or Twitch, that goal number will go up. So please make sure that you send people our way and make the Junkie Nation grow. Because we need more. We would love to see more people and get this thing popping.
We want to get more people hooked.
Yes, absolutely hooked. Because we're junkies.
Well, you guys are junkies. I'm
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. I'm a apex predator.
Wow, this guy. Anyway,
casual junkie.
He ain't casual shit.
We got most shit in the middle of.
There we go again.
Oh, you broke it.
Yeah, I broke it again. All right, so hold on a second. Then let's try that one more time. One more time. Let's try that one more time. Damn it.
Rewind.
No. One more time. All right, here we go. For real this time. It's for real this time. All right, there we go. There we go. So this is the end of an era, everybody. Yesterday the announcement of the air date of the final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. Amazingly, season 7. There was some people
amazingly.
Well, because there was some facets of our friends group that swore this show was going to get canceled after the first season.
You mean the people that didn't understand how Disney does things?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, those types of people. Yeah. So the end of an era is that after Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finishes its run and completes the series, that will end Marvel television as we know it, because the next things that are coming are going to be all from Marvel Studios, TV projects, films, everything. It's all under one umbrella now. So this is kind of like the swan song for Marvel TV. So I kind of wanted to use this not only to kind of look back on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and its 7-year run, but also Marvel TV in general, kind of like the best things, the worst things, our favorite moments, our favorite seasons. So what's the one takeaway that you guys got from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Marvel TV over the past 7 years that it's been in existence?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I just said the greatest thing, period, is when they had the crossover from Winter Soldier, and they crossed over.
Dude, that was dope.
That was epic.
That was dope.
Epic as hell, and it's like, oh man, it's the first time ever.
Well, see, yeah, because that was like the entire show flipped on its head when that happened.
Exactly.
I was hoping they would have done that more. I mean, they had the opportunity to, and it just seemed like
they did. But
yeah,
I think now, since I mean, don't get me wrong, they still merged certain things, but not everything. Which I hated it, but still, it did it well. It did well, of talking about it. You can talk about it through blue in the face, but I think they did a good job of talking about this happened here, and they kind of played onto the episode. And like the one season they did where it was like because Age of Ultron came out around that time, and I believe they had a whole segment with the LMDs. That's dope. Dude, they brought the whole LMDs in the element, into the whole. Allure.
Now, see, the real thing with the LMDs didn't really come until a couple of seasons later. Like that whole season with the LMD, that was like the best season of the show to me. Yeah, absolutely. Like, because that was the season that Ghost Rider came in too. That's what kind of made that season, really pop off. Was Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, even though his half of the story wasn't quite as good, but Ghost Rider himself was pretty damn dope. But Ava and the LMDs, that whole virtual world, the whole way that evil fits, all of that was pretty freaking sweet.
That was some comic book shit right there.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking sweet. Now, going back to what you were saying about the crossovers and stuff and wishing that they would do more, or they had done more. I think a lot of fans don't really understand, and I think even we didn't really understand either, just how much of a logistical nightmare it is to try and pull off that kind of fan servicey stuff. I've already read I've read a lot of reports about how the Arrowverse crossovers that they do, a lot of the actors a lot of people that work on them, like even from the actors to the to the writers and stuff like that, they absolutely they can't stand them because logistically it's extremely tough to manage everybody's different, everybody's shooting schedule to make it fit in line with the time that they would have or time that they would need in order to film these things and then get them out to air. The other thing, beyond that is like in regards to the crossovers and the the merging of storylines for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's take last season, for instance, right? Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. filmed well before Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And the Russo brothers, they were notoriously like clandestine with the secrets of what was going to happen in Infinity War. So nobody that was working on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time could pry any details out of them, so they kind of had to go without. They didn't really know what was going on. They didn't find out really until we did. So there's that to consider as well. Like when these shows air is not when they're filming. They usually film like 6 to 8 months ahead before they actually, start to air, on TV.
But even so, I think was that the episode season 5 when I think it's before Infinity War and they spoke about Thanos.
Yeah, they did that because they found out that Thanos was going to be a part of it. But it was just
it was great how they put it on there though.
And they had the perfect opportunity at the end of that freaking season to have people disappear, and that could have been a way to get rid of Coulson. But
they didn't know. That's what I'm saying. They didn't know that was going to happen.
Somebody should have told them that.
But they couldn't, because if they did, it might let the secret out.
No, they didn't want that aspect, dude, because like it's all it is a computer generated thing that could have been done post. It literally could have been done post.
But then, all your pickup shots are going to be them reacting to people disappearing?
Nope. if you remember the end of that season, you had Melinda May.
Which season?
I think it was the one before last season.
Yeah, it was season 6 actually.
6. I don't have 6 yet.
No,
I only have season
5. It's not last season.
It's 5.
Season 1.
7 is now. It's 5. It was at the end because you find out Coulson had that inoperable heart problem. They were on the beach. It is supposedly Tahiti. It was Agent May and Coulson lying on the beach.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
She could have been the only one that all they had to do is tell her to look surprised. And they could have been laying there, and Coulson could have just fucking disappeared and fucking dust.
And you're absolutely right. But like you said, they had that one weird thing. Was it Paul Muter or whatever the heck his name was?
Yeah, piece of shit.
So, and again, from a creative standpoint, from a money-making standpoint, I think they did it I think they did it best they could.
I mean, they did. I'm not disappointed with the show. I'm just saying.
I mean, some people really.
That taste, I think that they should have stopped. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna put part of it and keep it in the continuity, and then did they? Is it? I don't know.
I wanted more Agent Carter.
Yeah, that was.
So did I. I love that show. I thought it was really good, and not just because of Haley Atwell. Even though she was
Haley Atwell.
I know you saying that. That's fine, but I like the show in general. Even Haley Atwell was definitely the primary reason, but the show itself was actually pretty good. But to Dido's point, what we were just talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people really had a hard-on hate for this show because it didn't feature, the Iron Mans and Captain Americas and the superheroes every single week. That's what they wanted, and because they didn't get that, they were predisposed to hate this show. What's your take on that?
I didn't need that.
Well, I hate to call people dumb. Actually, I don't really hate to call people dumb. I do it.
You said it right.
That's a dumb thing to expect because you know how much Robert Downey Jr. costs?
Right.
Like, let's just be real. Like, his paycheck is more than a couple of episodes budget. So you're going to really throw a couple of episodes budget just to get him to show up and say, be Iron Man for like an episode? No. I always look at it this way when you deal with shows like this. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are essentially the cleanup and investigate crew. They basically set that up in the first few episodes to show that, like, they investigate stuff that goes down. Mm-hmm. The Avengers is SEAL Team 6. You don't see them. You don't usually know who they are. The average grunt on a ship or a base or whatever never runs into them. They probably don't even know what they look like. They show up when they need to show up. Mm-hmm. And stuff that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing does not require seeing Teal 6 every single day.
Right.
Exactly.
That's not how that works.
Right.
So, and like I said, they brought in Lady Sif. That's somebody directly from the movie.
That was really cool.
It's like, I'm good with that.
And
they brought in Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury.
Yep.
And Nick Fury thing. He was in an episode. He was in 2. Mm-hmm. He cameoed at the end of the second episode,
mm-hmm. And was in another one.
Straight up doing stuff in the season finale. So it's like there's your crossover from the movies right there.
And to me,
and you had the dude Powers Booth, who was part of the World Security Council. And you had 3 different movie characters.
Yeah. And see that to me, seeing stuff like that, was always, frustrating for me to hear people say, oh, well, they're not really part of the MCU. I'm like, the hell they're not? Like, dude, Powers Booth was in the Avengers. There's one. And if Fury be even showing up in person is number 2. Come on, dude. That was just,
I remember watching that episode. They came back from commercial. The only thing you heard was 6 days, Coulson. 6 days?
Yeah.
It took you 6 days. I was like, they got freaking Sam L. Jackson to be on this show.
Well, I think he wanted to do it, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, Sam is he's a G like that. He put work in, period. But just the fact that you come back from commercial and that's the first voice you hear was like, wow, like damn, okay.
And in cherry on top too, that was the other thing. I know we alluded to the whole Winter Soldier crossover, but like literally leading into Winter Soldier, Agent Sitwell was on the show talking about how he needed to go on this mission to the Lemurian Star. He was talking about it on the show.
Yeah, they had their crossover in ways that worked for fans. They didn't beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
It was like, look, if you've been paying attention to the movies, there's gonna be a couple of little Easter eggs here and there to like let it do it. But I think in the grand scheme of things, like you were saying, it's a logistical nightmare to try to write all that stuff on TV and then worry about what's going on in this film that's going to come. Because the studio, let's be real, the studio cares more about the film because the film is going to make potentially $1 billion.
Hell yeah.
The TV show is never going to make that. I don't care how good a show is. The advertisers ain't going to get you up in the $1 billion range unless you the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's just be 100% honest about that. The advertisers are never going to give you enough revenue that's going to match a kick-ass box office performance. So the studios have to protect that movie storyline and the movie spoilers and all that other stuff more so than a spin-off show. Now, granted, there's probably things that they could have wrote in that could have worked. But once you got to Infinity War, man, that's a $2 billion movie. They was going to protect that like that was Fort Knox with the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail and all that stuff inside. They were going to protect that because you were not going to mess with that. Even when that movie got leaked, it still did numbers because people didn't care.
Hand of Omega says that I still have folks explaining why the Thanos snap didn't happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it was not mentioned. Some people are like that. I mean, there is a book. You might know of it. It's called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and they describe the original character being in his bathrobe and having a towel, and they never say anything else for the rest of the damn book. So you have to assume if that's how he described the whole entire book, that's how he's dressed, and they did that same thing in the movies. So if it's not mentioned, some people say it doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah. See, to me, I don't exactly. But here's the thing: I don't like when movies handhold like that. If a movie spoon feeds you every single detail, it's like, why am I watching this?
Right.
It's like you should be able to point A to point B infer that, hey, something. It's like if a character comes in with a hat on, and then a couple of scenes later he doesn't have a hat, I can pretty much infer that he took the hat off at some point. It's not always a plot hole or a movie. It's the dude got tired of the hat being on his head. He took it off.
And yeah, some people are just dumb.
Yeah. Like, no, where was the shot that showed him take his hat off?
Right.
Really?
You're right. Just because I didn't see you take it off means it didn't happen. Like, what?
Right, come
come on. Anyway, all right. So, real quick to wrap up the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. talk. Favorite character, worst character, best villain, best storyline. Go.
I have to say, Simmons became my favorite towards season 4 and 5.
Interesting.
Especially when he had that
you
that
mean
shotgun act.
Oh, you mean Mac, right? Not
Mac,
Simmons.
yeah, I'm sorry, Mac.
Mac.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mac.
Okay.
Mac, yeah. I'm thinking his real name. That's why.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think his last name is Simmons. Anyway,
Yeah,
but no,
his last name is Simmons.
Yeah, he became my favorite. I was like, dog.
That shotgun axe was dope though. It was.
Yeah, and I like the fact they even gave him his own storyline, a little backstory too. They gave him whole episodes about him. I love that. I love that. And I would definitely love to see him in the MCU because he's a dope ass character.
I liked him. I like Mac. Worst, best villain.
I think Graviton when he became towards the end.
Oh, they finally actually brought him in.
Yeah. You didn't. Wait a minute, because that was season 5. That was season 5.
Again, I stopped watching the show after it was on regular TV. Well, actually, I take that back. I stopped watching it once they stopped releasing the Blu-ray releases over here in the States.
What? When did they stop doing that?
Well, I have them here because you know me. The last one that was released over here officially was season 2, as you see right here. So I decided, well, skip it. Amazon has the European connections, so I got the other seasons.
Wow.
From Europe, as you can see,
I wonder why they're not releasing them over here.
Because they're weird. Again, it's also because they probably were like, hey, we got Disney Plus coming up. Let's not release stuff.
Yeah, why is that on there yet? I wonder.
I don't know. So I need to track down season 6, and then of course once 7 starts playing, and then I'll so it'll be awesome.
Okay. Favorite storyline, Super Nerd. Then we'll move on to the others.
Probably the Age of Ultron. Well, the LMDs.
The LMD storyline.
My favorite.
Yeah, I get you. Okay. All right. Cool. What about you, GQ? Who's your? I know you haven't really seen the show, lately, but who was your favorite character, from the limited time that you watched?
I like Grant Ward. I really enjoyed.
He was your favorite character or favorite villain?
I liked him as he was both. So I mean, It works for me. It's like I liked him I like the fact that in the first episode, it's like we're bringing in a specialist, and this dude is just wrecking shop and whipping ass. It's just like, okay, cool. We have our Black Widow-like character basically, and then then he gets brought in, and then you get the Hydra flip, and he's It's like
that was masterful.
I love stuff like that. Now, the one thing that I didn't like what they did was they tried to strand him in that other dimension, and then he comes back as like
the personification of Hydra. I thought that was weird.
I'm like, okay, what's the cheese?
I don't think that's from the books. I think that came
it probably is, but it was still cheesy though.
Yeah,
it was just like, I didn't really like that so much. I did like Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is always a character that I'm always interested in seeing how they translate him to film or to screen. And as much as I didn't like the Nick Cage movies, the effects of the Ghost Rider look sweet. So I always like that. So going back to, not so much in the second one. In the second one, it looked like he had ADHD or had some type of weird twitch.
Weird face.
Yeah. But no, they did a really good job of the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider as far as the look and everything. They could have did a little bit more, but again, that's an expensive effect to do.
Storyline
to maintain is to keep constantly having him transform and stuff. So I thought it was cool, him transferring the power to Coulson for a half a minute. I was like, okay. That's pretty awesome.
What was your favorite storyline then?
Favorite storyline was Hydra. Just the fact that, like Super Nerd said, for them to look, we're leading up into this movie that everybody's going to go see. It ended up being one of the best MCU movies out of all of them. They were like, look, damn it. It's coming out this Friday or Thursday or whatever whatever time. You better go see it, because when we get back next week, things are about to be different. And it was
it was like a totally different show. It was a totally different show after that.
Right. Like they were at a point where I was like, dude, they should just change the name. They should just change the little bumper name to Agents of Hydra.
Yeah.
I would have been like, dude,
they did that. Awesome. They did do that.
Well, no. They changed the logo to the Hydra logo. I would have changed the name of the show for that week to Agents of Hydra.
Yeah.
I would have literally been like, look, I would have said all the networks, call it Agents of Hydra on all of your guides this week. Like, I would have just, literally the world has changed. Like that, that would have been really, really, really interesting to see. And then, of course, you get into that, I think it was in third season, where they had Ward was like a Hydra agent, but he was like, now he was a double agent in Hydra land. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Or the Hydra dimension or whatever the heck it was.
There's an LMD thing where they were
that was season 3, I think. I believe.
He had a bunch of those story arcs though. It was like in other dimensions or timelines.
Well, no, and like I said, that's getting into the stuff I haven't watched yet. But it's like just the sense of them having a character that he flip flops in both sides. He defects to opposite sides and throughout all the storylines. But my honest favorite stuff from Marvel TV was Agent Carter. Because I love how they took that one shot that we all thought was just badass and actually made a show out of it.
They expanded on it. That was pretty dope. Yeah, it was pretty dope. Dido, what's your favorite character, favorite villain, favorite storyline?
Well, I think Fitz, in my honest opinion, has the best character development if you think about it, because of how he was in the first season to how he is now. And even that LMD thing, because he became a villain in that one, and he was a fucking badass villain.
He was a great villain. Yeah. Evil Fitz was awesome.
Yeah, and then it affected him in the real world too. It actually kind of gave him a little bit more confidence, and you can see how he changed. I think he is probably been the most dynamic in my honest opinion. So both character and villain to me goes to him, even though they had some pretty cool villains otherwise. But storyline, I kind of like the LMD stuff. It's kind of hard for me to say which one's my favorite one, because like every season gets me hooked for some reason. Even though the last season I was a little bit kind of confused, because you got this freaking shadow Coulson, but it's not really Coulson, but he is Coulson, but he's not.
Yeah, that part was weird. I didn't like that part. That part was weird.
I didn't see season 6 yet.
Yeah, no, that part was really weird. I didn't like that.
Now watch that shit on Hulu, buddy, before that 7 start.
Right.
Now hold on. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a distinction for you because that was one of the only live shows you actually would watch, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I would make sure on Friday I was there to watch that show because I mean, occasionally when I couldn't make it out, watch it on Hulu the next day. But I definitely would, when I could, was watching that live action. And that reminds me, I haven't watched The Flash in a couple of weeks. Sorry.
All right. Favorite villain. You didn't name your favorite villain.
Yeah,
you said Evil Fitz. Okay, Evil Fitz is your favorite villain too. Okay, all right. Cool.
Hold on. Tony Young said his favorite villain was the dude that trained Ward.
Oh yeah, that was John, the late Bill Paxton.
Yep.
Bill Paxton. Yeah,
Bill Paxton. Tony Young's favorite storyline was the space prison.
That was crazy. That was a long season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tony Young also said his favorite character was Mac.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through mine because some of mine were actually said. So, my favorite character overall, for the show, probably is Fitz because much like Vegeta, the reason why I like Vegeta more than I like Goku is because of that character development, the dynamic. Mm-hmm. Fitz has the same deal. Like I love Fitz's growth over the course of these seasons that he became like my favorite character. A close second would probably have to be Melinda May. Would probably be my a close second.
Can't sleep on her.
No, you cannot.
That's Big Kahuna's favorite all day.
Right. No, I hear you. And he's got immaculate taste. My favorite villain. It's hard not to go with Ward because after he flipped, he was just so good. And Brett Dalton was just so good as Evil Ward after he flipped. But my favorite villain had to be Ada from the LMD storyline. Ada was as a villain was something else. Like
didn't they kind of dress her up to look like Lady Hydra?
Yes, she became Madam Hydra in the virtual world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, so that story, that whole LMD storyline to me was my favorite out of them all. Like that was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at its best. Like it was clicking on all cylinders in that storyline because it was just so good. It was every week had you gripped. It was like, okay, are they going to escape from this virtual world? And if they do, what's going to happen? Because like what happened with Fitz, not Fitz, Mac getting his daughter back.
Oh,
and basically, and Yo-Yo had to pull him out forcibly, to make him leave her. It was something else. It was some good stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I like the dynamic too, Yo-Yo and Mac.
And Mac, yeah, good stuff.
Hey, hold on. DBL King said Winter Soldier was criminally underrated. By who?
Depends on who you talking to, my friend.
Human.
Depends on who you talking to, my friend.
Man, really I don't think I've run across anybody that said Winter Soldier wasn't good.
No, said human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Oh, as an aside, now I know this storyline wasn't that great. The whole Inhuman storyline when Sky became Quake, but what did we think of Kyle MacLachlan as Mr. Hyde, her dad?
He was cool.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Even though
Atreides.
Yeah, Paul Atreides. Yeah, no, when he was in the show, I thought that was pretty interesting. Sif as a character, I felt like they could have done more with her, but it was pretty nice that whole thing happened with Sif.
Well, hold on, didn't she come in to deal with the guy from Ghostbusters 2 because he was a refugee as Guardian?
That was her first appearance. Yeah, that was her first.
So
appearance.
She appeared more than once. Okay, well, don't forget she ended up getting her own show. That
kind of ruined all of that. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, people got to eat.
I hear you. We spent all this time talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I wanted to talk about some of the other Marvel TV shows. So if we really quick, what was our favorite non-Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel TV show? I mean, outside of Daredevil. Because Agent Carter. All right.
Oh, okay, hold on. You talking about the Netflix stuff?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Netflix because that's Marvel Television too. So and officially that will all be done. We're talking like Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Punisher.
Once that
Cloak and
contract
Dagger.
once that contract went out, man, and them characters get off their 2-year hiatus, then
which is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So,
but we're in the middle of a point where they can't do nothing with them right now anyway.
you know, it would be just like Feige to already have the plans, you know, done way ahead of time, and then when the statute runs out, he can hit the ground running because he's already contacted.
Shit, they got plenty of time right now, though. Ain't shit else going on. Shit.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying, man. Like,
I'm sure, and again, and it goes back to what I've always said. They've always had a blueprint out there, and when they got that Spider-Man negotiation, Civil War probably literally had a couple of flips of like, okay, we're on script 1. Let's flip over to script 1B so we can get Spider-Man scenes filmed. I guarantee you they already had the negotiations going, and they're like, we got them. Okay, let's film this and let's get this in there. It wasn't one of those, oh wait, we got to do. It's like, no, because come on, they had a movie ready to go shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
So they plan ahead. So I guarantee you, they've got scripts ready to go for Daredevil and all that other stuff, and they might even fix Defenders.
Hopefully they bring in Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, because
that'd be interesting.
That's another extended Marvel television show that people, I think, kind of slept on, and those are well put together shows. Like, I really love season 3 of Runaways.
You know, I was so turned off by the long, drawn out nature of the first 2 seasons that I kind of didn't watch the 3rd season, even though I do want to watch the 3rd season because that's the last time I'll get to see Cloak and Dagger. And I loved those kids as Cloak and Dagger. I thought they were great.
Perfect.
And I loved their show, which was disappointing that, you know, they didn't get a chance to continue or won't get a chance to continue, because I really enjoyed all those shows on Freeform.
I think they'll pick them up again.
I don't know if they were going to do it. I think they would have done it already. So I'm just.
I mean, they could, but at the same time, I mean,
that's another one that Hand of Omega just brought up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And you like this show too, Legion.
I didn't get into Legion. I couldn't get into it.
You didn't get into Legion? Really?
I couldn't get into it. It was just a head trip. And I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Wow, I thought that was like right up, but I thought that was kind of like right up your alley, being kind of like the head trip.
Yeah, I know, but Legion as a character is not one of somebody I fucking would read or watch about either.
Yeah, me either.
It's like, he's a
nobody was really reading Guardians of the Galaxy and their household names, so it's not really no different.
But Legion's been a bitch. What the heck?
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, it's kind of sad to see Marvel Television go. Well, actually, no, it's really not, because I mean, it is, but it isn't, because we know what's coming afterwards with the stuff from Marvel Studios, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, What If, you know, the other shows that we're getting ready to get from Marvel Studios. I think those will be fantastic, but I am very curious to see what they do with like Daredevil, Punisher, and some of these other characters that they could develop. Like, you know, they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to do the new Warriors show. That got, you know, that's not going to be done now. That MODOK animated show they were going to do, they're not going to do that. They were supposed to do this Tigra animated show. It's supposed to be some kind of adult animation on Hulu they were supposed to do, and they're not going to do that either. You know, Hand of Omega saying Jessica Jones was awesome. Jessica Jones actually was good mostly because of David Tennant. And let's be honest, it was mostly because of David Tennant and what he did in the first season. He was so good.
He was good. Season 2 was terrible.
Yes. You thought season 2 was terrible too? I
didn't like season 2 the way they did it, because I just felt like they edged on her whole mother. If anybody see it, her mother was like kind of like the main villain, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think they just put that on. They could have did like the first half of it, got rid of it, and then went to the second half like they did in certain of the Netflix Marvel shows. I feel like they just kept egging that on. Like, come on now, like, get rid of that. Find something else.
Real quick, last few thoughts. Luke Cage. Did you like Luke Cage? Awesome show. Would you want Mike Coulter to be? Would you want Mike Coulter to be back as Luke Cage, or would you rather find somebody else?
I do because it felt like when Bendis was doing the New Avenger books with him in it, I just thought that was him all the way. It felt like he personified that character from the books.
Okay.
To me,
Fair.
that's just my opinion.
That's fair.
Doesn't he have his own show right now, though?
He does.
He's doing another show right now. I don't think
it's
they're gonna
called
pull him
Evil.
back.
It's called Evil. It's on CBS. You don't think you wait a minute. Were you about to say you don't think Disney could pull him back? Is that what you was about to say?
I don't think. I think they still looking at Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I think they still pulling him because I've been hearing his name
to be Daredevil.
Yeah, because I think even Mike Coulter even said, I follow him on Instagram, and I think he believes, he would love to come back, but I think he believes that they're not gonna, call them back. But who knows? He could be saying that, just be saying it. So we don't know.
Hey,
John Bernthal is coming back as a Punisher.
Oh, dude, John Bernthal. Yeah, John Bernthal. Actually,
I didn't watch the second Punisher season 2. It got kind of boring to me. I didn't really get into it.
I don't even remember what had happened. So it's
I didn't finish it. I couldn't finish it.
All right, so that's gonna be the show we're running over anyway. But last thing, on that whole topic that we could talk about, this is kind of more of a rumor, but we kind of should have talked about it on Run the Gamut. But supposedly John Krasinski has been in early talks with Marvel. Any idea who he might be trying to play?
Yep.
Who's that?
Mr. Fantastic himself, Reed Richards.
Yeah, buddy.
Can't wait for that.
Person?
John Krasinski. Really?
He was in the movie with the don't talking and stuff.
Quiet Place.
Oh, he was the dad.
Yeah.
That suddenly is alive in the sequel.
It could be a flashback. It looked like a flashback.
Yeah.
Some show on Amazon, I think, is
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan.
Yeah. Whatever. Whatever.
No, honestly, I think he would be a great choice of being Mr. Fantastic if they end up doing that. I think that would be
and that's fine, but they're gonna have to knock it out of the park with Johnny Storm.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Michael B. Jordan did not fill in Chris Evans' shoes on that.
He did not. No,
now, granted, that entire movie was garbage. Sorry to say, I usually don't say that, but that movie was. Dido, you need to watch that so you can also have the same.
Hell no. That'd be another one of those that he want to get his money back for, or his time and his bandwidth back for. There's no way.
You just need to see it so you can just get that out the way. Because that movie is bad.
Yeah, the movie is terrible. Anyway, y'all, we hope you had a great time. Hanging. We want to thank everybody that hung out with us for the past couple of hours. We do apologize. I apologize because I'm running the show. I apologize for the couple of technical glitches that we had. I promise you, next week we will have them all work out. It'll be working like a well-oiled machine. So if you haven't, followed us on or go to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of really great videos that are out over there. YouTube.com/Culture Junkies. This man GQ is out there just turning out these eye-popping videos left and right. He's doing a fantastic job. Like his unboxings are popular. His his Blu-ray reviews. Excuse me for even sullying the name of the Blu-ray format. His Blu-ray reviews are really, really popular as well. They're really well done, but we have a whole bunch of other content that we really think you should check out. So you should head over there to our YouTube channel and show the Junkies some love. And you'll also bump up that meter that we were talking about hitting our goal for April. We only have 2 weeks left to kind of try and hit our goals. So everybody you can send over there would be greatly appreciated. So for my good friends, the Great Dadakuji, Super Nerd Plus, and GQ, I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great one.
Deuces.
Bye. Peace.